Hello everyone and welcome to another Sentai video review, and this is another set of Super Sentai vinyl figures. This is the Kishi Sentai RyuSoulger vinyl figures. These are the most recent and current running Sentai team, which is the first time that I am actually looking at the most recent vinyl figures, since Q-Ranger had already finished when I got the Q-Ranger vinyl figures and looked over those last year, right after Power Rangers Beast Morphers was announced, as opposed to an adaptation of Q-Ranger like I had been hoping for. But hopefully that will come along very soon. But anyway, another series that, as of the time of the recording of this video, has not been adapted into Power Rangers, which I find to be interesting, would be RyuSoulger. As you can see right here, I have gotten all 5 of the first RyuSoulger vinyl figures. They have not released RyuSo Gold at the time of the recording of this video, because RyuSoulger has just recently started. It just has aired its first 3 episodes, so it's going to be a while before RyuSo Gold comes out, depending on whether or not they're going to have him be appearing very soon. But, you know, with 6 Rangers in the Super Sentai series, it's really hard to know when they are going to be coming out. Usually it's around, like, after 20 episodes or so. But regardless, these are the 5 Rangers that we start out with, and this is going back to the usual format of having a 5 Ranger team, since Q-Ranger had a 9 Ranger team, and Lupin Ranger versus Pato Ranger was 2 teams that had 3 members each, 4 if you count Lupin X and Patra X, which, by the way, were the same person using 2 different powers. So it was a total of 7 Rangers, but there were 8 figures, since there were 2 figures of the same Ranger with different powers. But now we have gone back to the usual format of having 5 Rangers on the team, instead of having more Rangers or less Rangers, or having 2 teams of Rangers in one series. And this is what we get for 2019. The RyuSoulgers are the 4th Sentai team to have a dinosaur motif after Koyu Sentai Zyuranger, which came out in 1992, which was adapted into Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Bakuru Sentai Aba Ranger, which came out in 2003, which was adapted into Power Rangers Dino Thunder. And Juden Sentai Koyuger, which was adapted into Power Rangers Dino Charge. And Koyuger was released in 2013, by the way, I forgot to mention that. And now here we are in 2019, where we have our 4th dinosaur-themed Sentai, the RyuSoulgers. And now I'm going to be looking at these each individually. First, we have RyuSo Red. RyuSo Red, like the past Red Rangers of the Dinosaur Sentais, is themed after a T-Rex. Although I personally think that having the Red Ranger be the T-Rex is something that has been overdone, and something that really needs to change up. Like, I'm thinking that maybe when Toei does another Sentai that's based on dinosaurs, like when they do it for a 5th time in maybe 2030, maybe, given the usual format of how we have a dinosaur-themed Sentai every decade, although technically it's only been 6 years since we had Koyuger. But, you know, in Power Rangers, it basically will be the 2020s by the time we have RyuSoulger get adapted. I predict that it will be around that time when it happens, although I am hoping that we get a Q-Ranger adaptation first. But you probably already knew that if you've watched my other videos. Now all of the figures have this pattern that has this sort of black stripe going down the center, and having a silver pattern and a silver left arm. And they each have a RyuSoulger. I think that is what it's called. I could be wrong, but I think that is what it is called. Or RyuSouls. I think the RyuSouls are actually what these are right here on the side. And they have the tendency on not having any printing on the back. They just have it done on the front, having the silver painting and the gold painting up in the front, but nothing on the back. But anyway, I certainly like the design that the helmets have, with putting in that night theme, along with also getting the dinosaur motif onto the helmets. So that is pretty good. Next we are taking a look at RyuSoul Blue. His powers are based on the Triceratops, which is, well, the Blue Ranger having the Triceratops is something that usually has been done in the Super Sentai series, but so far the one exception to this would be in RyuSoulger, where the Blue Ranger instead gets the Stegosaurus, and it's the Pink Ranger that gets the Triceratops. Although in Dino Force Brave, the Korean-made sequel to RyuSoulger, they did have the dinosaurs for the Rangers be switched around, and the Blue Ranger ended up being the Triceratops again. And he is the Triceratops here too. While it hasn't been used as much as having a red Tyrannosaurus Ranger, I again think that the Triceratops being the Blue Ranger is something that has been overly done. But I am glad that they did make a difference at least once, which was in RyuSoulger. And you can see the horns on the head and on the nose, and the helmet has red eyes. The Red Ranger's helmet has green eyes, by the way. So RyuSoul Blue has red eyes on his helmet. Next up is RyuSoul Pink, the one female member of the team. And this is another Sentai where we only have one female member on the core team. The last time we had that happen was in RyuSoulger. And RyuSoul Pink's motif is an Ankylosaurus, which makes her the second Sentai Ranger in the dinosaur-themed series to have an Ankylosaurus for her powers. The first time that that's happened was with Koyu Cyan, aka the Aqua Ranger in RyuSoulger. And I'm not really seeing too many influences for the Ankylosaurus on RyuSoul Pink's helmet. But, you know, it is a very fine-looking helmet. Certainly looks very feminine for a female ranger. And, of course, since she is a female, she is the only one that actually wears a skirt, while the rest of the rangers are all male. Now, something that I meant to do was point out the names of each of these rangers, like their actual names, but I have forgotten to do that. But they do actually have very memorable names. Well, almost memorable. Most of them are. But anyway, RyuSoul Red is named Ko, which is interesting because we did have a ranger named Ko before in Super Sentai, and that was with Keeper Ranger in Gosei Sentai Dai Ranger. And the RyuSoul Blue is named Melt, and RyuSoul Pink is named Asuna. It kind of sounds like as soon as. So we will go over the other two rangers as soon as we can, which is right now, by the way. Alright, so anyway, continuing on, next is RyuSoulger Green, whose name is Towa, by the way. It's spelled T-O-W-A, which, on a personal note, sounds very much like Toa, spelled T-O-A, the heroic figures in Lego Bionicle. And I am thinking of maybe taking a picture of this figure with some of my Toa figures and having it be called Toa meets Toa. That would be hilarious. So anyway, RyuSoulger Green is based on a saber-toothed tiger. The only ranger that we've had that had a saber-toothed tiger motif in a dinosaur-themed season was Tiger Ranger in Koyu Sentai Ju Ranger, and RyuSoulger Green also happens to be the second Green Ranger with a feline theme after Shishi Ranger in Gosei Sentai Dai Ranger. Although Shishi Red was based on a lion, while RyuSoulger Green is based on the saber-toothed tiger. And I've just noticed how the outer holes of his visor are supposed to make up the teeth of the saber-toothed tiger. And his helmet has orange eyes in them. And I also forgot to mention that RyuSoulger Pink's helmet has blue eyes. And then lastly, we have RyuSoulger Black. Once again, we are lacking a yellow ranger, so instead we get a black ranger, which I don't think is too bad though, but I personally think that it's been a while since we've had a 4 male, 1 female team and have had a male yellow ranger on the team. I think the last time that they did that was in Gaio Ranger, I believe, where it was a 4 male, 1 female team, and the Yellow Ranger was male. I'm not counting Hurricaneger because that was with 3 Rangers at the start. But anyway, RyuSoulger Black is, of course, the second Black Ranger to replace the Yellow Ranger on the team. His name is Bamba, by the way, and also, he and Towa are brothers. Bamba is Towa's older brother, which is very interesting. It's not very often we have a team where we have 2 members of the core team be siblings. So, of course, with Ninninger, we did have the Red and White Ranger be brother and sister, and the rest of the Rangers on the core team were their cousins. But with RyuSoulger Black, he, of course, is mostly black, and, you know, all of the Rangers have a black lightning bolt in the center. He has it as well, which probably does not really make that much sense, because in Koyuger they had a yellow slash over their torsos, but they did not have a yellow ranger. But here, they have a black sort of lightning bolt on all of them, and that also includes RyuSoulger Black, and they do have a black ranger. And I know that some people will think that that doesn't make very much sense to have a color be used as some sort of sash on the rangers, but still have a ranger that is primarily that color. And RyuSoulger Black's motif is a Stegosaurus. He is the second ranger in the dinosaur-themed series to have a Stegosaurus as his motif, after Koyu Blue. And his helmet also has yellow eyes, which is very interesting since he is the replacement for the Yellow Ranger. Next up, I'm going to show you the tags that each of these Rangers came with. Here is the one for Ko, RyuSoulger Red, and here is the tag for Melt, RyuSoulger Blue, the tag for Asuna, RyuSoulger Pink, the tag for Towa, RyuSoulger Green, and the tag for Bamba, RyuSoulger Black. Now, I'm going to do something that people probably would expect for me to do, and that is to bring in the last time where we've had a dinosaur-themed season of Super Sentai, because I did also get the RyuSoulger figures, and I'm going to bring them in right now. I just now noticed that Ko is missing from the screen. Let me move the camera back. Actually, can I get them all in? Okay, well anyway, how about I try this? Oh, come on, stand up, stand up. The figures are kind of having trouble standing up. Well, some of them are anyway. Alright, are they all in? Good. Alright, so, I'm bringing in Kishiryu Red, Kishiryu Blue, come on, come on, Kishiryu Pink, Kishiryu Green, and Kishiryu Black. Comparing these two, I personally kind of think that Toei is just making a second attempt at doing RyuSoulger again, having dinosaurs and having the colors red, blue, pink, green, and black all together on the core team, and lacking a yellow ranger, and also gaining a gold ranger later in the series. I guess it probably would be obvious that they would put gold in for the 6th ranger, considering the first 5 colors, and it also makes me wonder if they're going to have additional rangers like a RyuSoul Cyan, a RyuSoul Gray, a RyuSoul Violet, or a RyuSoul Silver. They may do that. Not quite sure. We'll just have to see where the series goes. As far as adapting a RyuSoulger into Power Rangers, as I said before, I hope that they actually adapt Q-Ranger before they adapt RyuSoulger, which probably they will. But I'm gonna give my idea about what they could actually do. I personally think that they could actually adapt RyuSoulger into a sequel series to Dino Charge called Power Rangers Dino Charge Knights. I know some people would think of the name Dino Knights, but I personally don't think that they will use that name, and they probably won't have it be called Dino Charge Knights. And I know some people would probably say, no, let's not use the word charge in the name, or call it Dino Charge again. But if they didn't do that, how would they know it was a continuation of Dino Charge? That does not make all that much sense if they don't call it Dino Charge Knights, or something like that, if it's a continuation of Dino Charge. But anyway, in discussing about getting the series adapted into a sequel to Dino Charge, it would be quite questionable whether or not all of the actors from Dino Charge would be willing to return. I do think that Brennan Magia, who played Tyler, the Red Dino Charge Ranger, would probably be willing to return. I actually did post a comment on one of his videos, and he did actually give it a like, which is indicating that he is up for the idea of coming back as the Red Ranger in the RyuSoulger adaptation. And I will bet Yoshi Sudarso, who played Koda, the Blue Ranger, would probably be willing to return too. And, you know, who knows, maybe they all will be willing to come back, maybe they won't, I'm not entirely sure. But, you know, just an interesting idea, though, in getting, you know, trying to go from the RyuSoulger suits to the RyuSoulger suits, does make me wonder how the story of that is going to work out, considering that the only similarities would be, you know, that the Red Ranger is a Tyrannosaurus in both series, but with the other dinosaur-themed Rangers, we just switch the things up. You know, like switching the types of dinosaurs around, from Ranger to Ranger, such as how RyuSoulger did not have a tiger-themed Ranger, and how RyuSoulger does not have a whatever kind of dinosaur Koyu Black is supposed to be, and a raptor. But, you know, if you have any idea on how they could do this, do let me know. It'd be interesting to hear your thoughts about how they could potentially make RyuSoulger be a Dino Charge sequel. It certainly would be interesting to hear. Now, another thing that I'm going to point out, which is pretty much the last thing that I will point out before I close off this video, in comparing both Pink Ranger figures, RyuSo Pink is a much lighter pink color than Koyu Pink. I'm not sure if it's easy to tell on camera, but if you were looking at these two figures in person, you would see a difference, where RyuSo Pink is slightly brighter than Koyu Pink. That doesn't bother me so much. Oh, she's falling over again. But it's just something that I thought that I would mention. So, I hope you enjoyed this review, and I will talk to you again next time.